John, any lineup changes, Hartnell back in or anything like that?
Hartnell's out.
Same lineup?
Yep. Bob and net.
Will Oliver slot in there, same spot?
Yep.
You've talked about before about embracing, I don't know if you're talking about particular games in February, but this team hasn't had many points in their franchise history to have good games in February. Is this one of those moments you're talking about embracing nights like this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not thinking of the past or future. I'm thinking about our season right now, and this team's in our division. We're neck and neck here. Stanley Cup winner. Yeah, it's a big game for us.
He has made these games over the last 3 years so close. I think 6 of the 10, I have my math correct, have been decided by 1 goal.
No idea.
Any commonality between the way they play, style of play, any of that?
No.
You're the top line first.
Guys are reaching today.
First half of the season, the Wembley line was sort of your offensive catalyst. Lately, it's been the Dubinsky line.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're getting close to the point where both of those lines are going to produce. I don't think that's it this year.
Yeah, I mean, it was spread out the last game a little bit. It's nice to see Oliver come up here and really his first scoring chance, he buries one in the top corner. It's promising. If we're playing these tough games of this month here and really the hard part of the schedule, I think you have a better chance to compete and win games when you're more balanced. I like the way the lines looked like the last game. I'm not sure what's going to happen tonight. Yeah, but as you get to the last quarter of the season, you'd like to see your team where everybody's contributing. Because if you are fortunate enough to get in, you're going to need some people doing some work all the way through your lineup if you want to continue playing.
That was a typical Josh Anderson goal last night. Has he been in the blue there and up for you?
No.
So
that's important.
Nice to see him getting
Yeah,
doing something.
yeah. I forget who asked me the last time I talked with you guys, but I had that conversation right before the puck was dropped when we were on the bench. As far as him, he gets there. He's such a good skater. He gets there, but tends not to stay there. Not so in the blue and also on the forecheck. I thought he did both the last game. He stood in the blue and also sustained his forecheck, and we ended up with the puck a number of times. It's nice to look good, getting there and doing all that, but then the main reason why you're getting there is to try to get the puck. I thought he did a better job of that the last game.
What stands out in these games with Pittsburgh, for one reason or another? Is there somebody who can pick up the slack for his grit, for his, Scott Hartnell-less?
I think in these games everybody needs to. Again, you're going back in the past, and I'm not familiar with the past, but Hartsey with this team and all that. I think in these types of games, especially with the top-end talent they have, I think the grind has to come into it. I think you have to make them defend. I think you have to be in their blue. I think there needs to be that swagger. And, so Scotty's not here. I think that is a big part of his game, a big part of his personality. I think we have to have that type of personality as a group, not just one particular person.
John, you said recently, but almost too much focus inside you being a young team.
Yeah.
Become self-fulfilling promise.
Yeah.
That said, you have a lot of guys that have not really gone on to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
How do you stay in the present, knowing that the playoffs were today, you'd be playing these guys? How do you do that?
We don't even discuss it. Remember, this is a team that has fluctuated here and has been around 500 for 20-plus games. If that doesn't explain it to you, there's not much else I can say. So, and I do think, as we've gone through the past 3 days, 5 days or so, we had meetings and video, and we talked about just thinking about each day. And I think that was I think that stabilized us when we started our season. I thought we had more of a chip on our shoulder during that time, and I get it. You can't always keep on going back to that for a motivation, but just understand how hard it is to win in the National Hockey League, So you need to stay focused on each and every day. And I think that is, that gives you a much better chance as far as competing in the league.
Building full tonight, John, it's not uncommon when Pittsburgh comes to town, but I think this time it's because this game's got some meaning to it. I know it's external, but what kind of pride maybe you guys take in the fact that you've gotten to a point where a game like this on Friday night's going to...
Yeah, I do think it's important. I think as you continue, as the organization continues to build, you want this to be expected. You want it to be a hard ticket to get because of the consistency of the team. We can't really worry about who comes to the game and how many come, but if we can worry about just how we play and if we can stay consistent, and when I mean consistent, I'm talking year to year, that's when it becomes a little bit of a standard of coming into this building. It's a hard ticket to get. I think eventually that's what you want to get to. Have we gotten there? No, but I think we're in the right direction. To have a few games along the way here, to have a little bit of a rise of emotion, I think it's good. I like to see that every night, but that's on us, not on the fans. That's on us doing our work and doing it consistently.
I think you had mentioned, like maybe right after the All-Star break, that you were going to start showing a little bit more video. Have you guys done that? I know you don't like the long meetings necessarily.
Yeah.
Have you shown a little bit more?
Off and on. I've backed off here the past couple of days. I'm trying to allow them to play. We showed quite a bit prior to that. I'm not sure. Does that affect them? Where it's a fine line. I tell you, athletes in all sports, it's a fine line. Ask Jody. You only have them for a few minutes. It's amazing to me that we can only get them for a few minutes. I've never understood that, but that's the way it is. So we're very cognizant of when we think we should show it and when we should leave them alone. Especially this team here this year. I think I know in my mind I've really tried to back off on that and allow them to play and not nitpick. And I think it's helped us. When you start losing, that's where you got to make sure as a coach, okay, now do I go too much the other way where I'm just going to grind them now? So that's where it's an everyday process for me as far as what's our next day going to be. What am I going to show them and how much am I going to show them? I'm sure for all coaches in the league.
Now, going back to Josh for just a second, there's so many things about his game, the size and speed that are there. Does being nasty come naturally?
No, I don't think anything is. I shouldn't say no. I think Josh has done. I've watched him on some face-offs this year. I look at those things. I don't look at all the big body checks, and I look at the small things within the game when they're jockeying on a face-off. Does he get pushed away? Does he get his stick moved, or does he push back? When he goes to the blue. Does he want to be there, or is he there because he was told to be there? I think he's made steps there. I'm just beginning to understand him. I've heard some really good things about him. I know he's willing to fight. So I shouldn't come right off and say no. I think with him, he's still young at it. I think he has to pick his spots when he really has to step in. And I think that's a process for a young player, understanding the landscape of the game, the momentums of the game. We talk about Scotty Hartnell. He's such a veteran guy, and that's the way he's played. He knows when to do some of these things. That guy over there, Jody, he knows when he had to do his things. And I think Josh is learning that. I think that needs to be part of his game, because he has the ability to do that. He's strong enough, and I think he's willing enough. So that's a process for him to learn.
I think some of the games early in the season when he wanted to film.
Yeah.
And I think of those games as being your best.
See, to me, it's not about fighting. I don't expect Josh to. I don't think you really have to fight in this league anymore. Josh and Zedzi and they need to get noticed because they're a pain in the ass. They know I'm coming again. Here I come. Like tonight. On this defense here, they're banged up, and I think it's a huge point for us is to give us an opportunity. Let's get after their D again here. They played last night, and played with 4D most of the night. I think that's, I always tell those guys, I just want you noticed on the ice. And when you get noticed on the ice, it's because you're a pain. They know you're coming again. I think Josh has been much better as we've gone on through the year. I still think he needs to get better as he understands what it is to be in that type of role.
You and Sam had a really good conversation early in the year when you didn't think he was going. Have you spoken to him?
Yep.
I mean, he's had obviously a long drought.
Yep.
What are you looking for other than the obvious scores and goals? Is there something he needs to start doing to get back to there?
I can't tell him how to see the ice. I can't tell him when and when not to. He's got great creativity, Sam. I think Sam, if we're going to get to where we want to be, I think Sam needs to be a bigger part of this here as we go through our last quarter, coming up to the last quarter. The coachable part for me is just let me keep being able to put you back on the ice. I don't want you too reckless. I want you to be able to play away from the puck and do some of the things that I'm not afraid to put you out on the ice against anybody. When that line was going, I didn't care who they were playing against. And when Sam's going, I don't care either. I think that's been a little inconsistent because I think the lack of scoring has affected Sam, the rest of his game. And it happens to offensive people. So I just don't want Sam cheating. I'd rather have Sam go the other way and work at the other part of the game, and I think his offense is going to come. And I do think it's going to come back. He is a big reason why we have the points we have in this league right now. It was a lot has to do with him. He's had a hell of a year. It's been hard for him. When it's such a great story, we talked about it, and then it's been a little bit, it's been a number of games here. That's hard for a guy. So he's a veteran guy. He's going to handle it right. But I really believe that if we're going to be the best we can be, Sam has to be a big part of that offense again.
Your expectations for Oliver on a physical level, not same as Josh, but you don't want him to shy away from things in the corner either.
No, there was one play in front of the net. It's just probably people didn't even see it. The defenseman kind of, the defenseman's pushing him away. And all I want Oliver to do is just look him in the eye, and shove back. Just make sure you're not getting shoved all over the place. We're not going to turn him into a checker. We're not going to turn him into a grinder. He's got an innate ability that puck follows him, and he's going to bring us some good offense. He's got such a bright future. But when you're just starting in the league, you got to make sure, don't get a reputation that they can shove you all around the place. And I think in little situations like that, you guys probably didn't even see it. I did. And he did. He pushed back. Just push back. Don't tuck your head. I went through this with a couple young players in Tampa, and I won't name their names now, but they pushed back, but they'd have their head down. That's even worse. Just push them back. And I think that it may sound silly, but I think that's a big part of earning respect in the league too, and certainly not going the other way, where they think they can get to you that way, and they try to take advantage of you. So that's all we expect out of the young guys, is to slowly understand that part of it and stay in the areas. Don't get pushed out of the areas where you score goals.
All right.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh.